Well, that's right. A following is probably the best way to describe it. That vehicle right there was in pursuit. The Sheriff's Department was chasing it in the Compton area for quite some time, and then the California Highway Patrol joined in as well. They basically, it got ahead of them. They kind of lost it. It's onto the freeway now. Now we're northbound 405 freeway. You can see that this vehicle really kind of riding the emergency lane, pushing its way between other vehicles, and then making its way back out into traffic. It has some damage. Not clear if that damage happened during the pursuit. Right now, the Sheriff's Department is pursuing it, but they're in their helicopter above it, keeping an eye on where it's going. They are broadcasting the information, and I believe they're working with the California Highway Patrol to try to get this an officer behind it. Right now, though, high speeds, dangerous driving, stolen vehicle, and that driver of that vehicle is doing, like they always say, drive it like you stole it. This has been hair-raising just watching this vehicle for the few moments. We've been over it. He's been on. We got him when he was getting onto the freeway. High speeds, sharp turns, weaving in and out of traffic. Very dangerous stuff. Bobby? Ugh. That's right, and we know that this speedometer pretty accurate in this helicopter we're in right now, Bobby. Just so that one of the things that, just to make conversation, is California Highway Patrol was very aggressive trying to stop this vehicle earlier on. Apparently it was making blocks in a neighborhood near on Normandy. I don't remember the exact crosses, but they were actually trying to get those spike strips out in front of this car many times, and they were unable to. Probably high speeds are one of the reasons why they didn't initialize the pit maneuver. That we've seen it in the they were unable to. Probably high speeds are one of the reasons why they didn't initialize the pit maneuver. That we've seen it in the past where they basically just kind of bump the back of the car. Speeds are always something that's very of a concern when they're performing that maneuver. But they were really trying to get those spike strips out there, and they were unable to do that. Right now, though, you can see these speeds, very high speeds. Northbound 405 traffic relatively light, and I'm sorry, northbound 110 freeway, and the traffic relatively light. We're coming up onto the 105. We heard that it started Carson. Compton is where we were hearing it earlier on. But, you know, maybe he's making his way back to that direction because he did make his way very south at one time. Right now, northbound 110 freeway, you can see the traffic kind of building. I'm keeping an eye on it to see where he's going. If he's hanging out on the left lanes, he's probably not going to be able to make that 105 transition. But LAPD, I'm sorry, the law enforcement is going to be the California Highway Patrol. But they're trying to get in place to get next to it. There he goes. He's making that move. 105 is going to be the choice for sure.
The 105 is always terrible. That was a bad choice, in my opinion. But you know, it's interesting because the traffic was terrible today with the weather. You know, people were going crazy, and the roads could be slick as well. So that could certainly be a dangerous situation for not just this driver, but the other drivers on the roadway here. So now this is you know, they're calling it a following, but what's interesting to me is oftentimes do they, you know, the CHP or these officers pull back thinking it's too dangerous, but it doesn't seem to matter in this situation. This driver is still driving very dangerously.
You know, that's one of the ones, you know, they do. That's exactly the reason why they basically back off, as it would be. They'll basically just kind of slow it down or back off so that the driver might not see those flashing lights and maybe lose that tension that suspect has running from the officers. In this case, you're right. There is nothing noticeable to that driver down there that would say that somebody's pursuing them, and yet the speeds continue to stay up close to 100 miles an hour. This car clearly passing every other vehicle on the roadway right there. That little Toyota RAV4, it looked like he even hit the brakes. Maybe this car came too close. But right now we're actually heading westbound on the 105 freeway. We're getting into the Hawthorne area. Maybe he's going back to the original area that he started at. It's common, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly what's going to happen. A stolen vehicle, so they don't know where this person lives. It isn't like they can run the plate and have somebody waiting at the house. So right now, it's just kind of follow, see what's going on. I have one ear on the scanner. I do hear the helicopter making regular calls. That's going to be the sheriff's ship. If he's calling out in the blind, just kind of letting officers know in the area that this is a stolen vehicle if he gets off the freeway, or if CHP is actively trying to get behind it once again. Those, I'm kind of curious myself. Right now, just extremely high speeds on the 105 freeway. The car clearly damaged, but those wheels, well, look at that, look at that. Those wheels clearly, the tires clearly solid right now as this vehicle continues at these high speeds. 105 freeway westbound, well into the Hawthorne area right now.
You look at the speed of that car relative to the other cars, and it's a good thing we have that speedometer on the right top corner of your screen so you could actually see how fast this vehicle is going. 113 miles per hour I saw at one point, and there you see the driver getting right behind some other vehicles. Perhaps this driver tries to dump off there on the 105 freeway because once you get to the end there towards the LAX area, it always gets tight and congested toward the end. But it does look like this the driver's pulling over. Well, maybe not, Stu.
Nope. No, I thought he was actually going to use that off-ramp right there. Sorry about that, Bobby. We're in one of our backup helicopters today. Don't have that ability to talk to the crew without everybody hearing us. You know, Justin, our cameraman today, really wants to get shots of the other side of the vehicle where the damage is, but because we're coming up into the LAX area, we're not going to be able to get on the other side of the 105 freeway, so this is where we're staying right now. There's one of the California Highway Patrol vehicles, so we're going to see right now, is this going to be a pursuit again, or is it up there? You can see that. You can see that cruiser picking up speed, and also that suspect realizing, oh, there's the officers. I'm going to start moving as well. This is not what any law enforcement wants to see. This is actually not even what I like seeing, because the higher speeds, the more of a chance that somebody's going to get hurt. That SUV continuing to move very, very quickly. We're coming back up onto the 405, but he's way over in that carpool lane. I know for a fact there's no transition for the carpool, so we're staying on the 105, the 105 right now. Pretty much established. He has the opportunity to get off any one of those off ramps here that takes us by LAX, but right now it looks like he's well established. 105 high speeds. California Highway Patrol now with him once again. Those lights and sirens, I hope, are helping folks on the streets, on the freeway this afternoon, to kind of give them heads up that this is going on, keeping everybody safe, even that suspect.
Well, the speeds are the same, regardless of whether or not that CHP officer is behind this vehicle or not. We're looking at speeds well into 100 miles per hour. Looks like it's 84 miles per hour right now. As I said, getting closer now to the LAX area, and traffic gets a little tighter in that area. We'll see if things slow down just a bit here. This is believed to be a stolen vehicle. We are hearing that perhaps it came from the Hawthorne area, a pursuit now. We can call it a pursuit because there's a CHP officer now behind this vehicle. This is a pursuit that went onto the 405 freeway, then into the Carson area, onto surface streets, and back onto the freeway. Now we're at the 105 freeway at Imperial.
Running out of freeway.
Those, yeah, I was going to say the same thing, Stu. He's going to run out of freeway here.
Definitely running out of freeway. I'm looking ahead. The streets seem a little bit wide open, but that officer, now he has two of them there. That's going to be helpful as well. And it appears to be a motorcycle officer as well. That motorcycle officer might be able to keep up with him if he gets into a situation where they're, high turns, making weaving in and out of small neighborhoods or tight spaces. But those cruisers, those are the ones.
All right, I think we're losing the picture there. This is near the LAX area on the 105 freeway. We'll see if we can get Stu Bendel back there. But we now have a police pursuit of an SUV, believed to be a stolen SUV that came out of the Hawthorne area, traveling at a very high rate of speed, speeds upward of 100 miles per hour. It dumped onto the 405 and then into the Carson area, surface streets. This vehicle is damaged, so we don't know if the vehicle was damaged during this pursuit or if it was damaged prior to it being stolen. But that driver now going through the Sepulveda area, again, onto the 105 freeway and now onto these surface streets, Stu.
I'm sorry, we weren't sure if you had. think that was a solid red right there. You know, anybody this will
All right, our signal continued to break up there, but as you saw, the vehicle dumped off the 105 freeway onto Imperial Highway near LAX, and the vehicle then slowing down with the CHP officer closely following behind. There was an attempt at some point during this pursuit to use spike strips, but obviously that was not successful. So we're going to continue to try to establish a signal here. Typically in the LAX area, we could have trouble with some of the signals in that area. So as soon as we get that connection, we're going to bring it to you. But a high-speed pursuit on the freeway that's now in the LAX area. We know that this driver is has exhibited dangerous actions, even not just on the freeway, but on surface streets. We got Stu Mendel. We're back. Stu?
Well, I've got news for you, Bobby. We might be back for a moment or two, but the viewers are going to go for a ride with us. We're going to have to do a low pass on the shoreline, is what they call it, to keep up with him. He's basically gotten onto Vista Del Mar right there. That parallels the ocean, but the problem is that's LAX right there as well. So we're going to be dropping down to about 500 feet to do that transition, to stay out of the way of the big jets at LAX. California Highway Patrol, they're doing the best they can. They're staying with it. I can see it out the window. We're going to catch up to it pretty quickly. Sky Fox, we're quick like foxes. We're going to be there in just a few moments. Justin's going to try to hold this shot the best he can. This is amazing stuff, I got to tell you, as far as flying and doing pursuits. This is great. But that suspect continues to run from officers out here. We're going to drop down probably a little lower than the actual roadway itself. But Justin keeping that great shot. Look at that. It looks like we're down on the ground. We're a ground unit today. That pursuit continues on. That was a pretty sharp turn right there. We're gonna stay like this for a little bit. It almost looks like that vehicle's leaning a little bit. I'm also wondering, perhaps they might have lost the tire.
Okay.
But we're gonna catch up as quick as possible.
Sounds
and
good.
We'll be there in just a moment.
Great job to you, Stu, and Justin as well. We'll continue to follow that. Sky Fox overhead, and we'll tell you what happened coming up on the Fox 11 News at noon. We're going to bring you back to Wendy.
Action it gets from people. Let's take a look at this choco therapy. Who doesn't love a little choco therapy? Okay, yeah. See, you get a bath in chocolate, and then they sprinkle more chocolate and spices on you, and you lick it.
Oh, you
and
know what?
You eat it off your hands.
Ryan, you know what's crazy about this trend?
Yeah.
I know the chef that invented it.
Yeah.
My 6-year-old nephew is the one that started that. That is, I'm joking. He was looking like, really? No, that you would eat off of it?
Oh.